Little Johnny, since he can remember, would always go to Grandma Betsy's house every Saturday afternoon. This was not his literal grandma, just a sweet old lady that took young John under her wing. Life was not the easiest at home nor at school, so that time with Grandma Betsy was life-giving, to say the least. They would play, do chores, run errands, bake, you name it, they did it. One day, little Johnny came to help and learn how to pull weeds. They both headed outside on a warm summer day. They could hear distant thundering a few miles out. They placed their knees on the overgrown yard. Neither cared about getting a little dirty. They just sat down to start weeding, and Johnny's big blue eyes started to well up. His head turned down. Big tears fell from his eyes and landed on his scraped up and tan knees. Grandma Betsy, sometimes they are just so mean to me. The grandma paused. She put her hands around his, guided them to a stubborn weed. As she cupped his hands in hers, she moved them down deep in the ground to lay hold of the root of the weed as they bypassed the pricklies. As she did this, she said, "Don't be mean back. Don't be mean back." My tongue gets a little twisted. Don't be harsh in return. Don't repay with mean names. Don't let your heart grow cold. They both then pulled up the weed by its roots, ever so gently. Grandma Betsy then turned her wrinkly old hands and placed them on Johnny's wet cheeks and said, "When we are told not to do something, we are shown what to do. Don't be mean back, for they need to be loved. Don't be harsh in return, for they need kindness. Don't repay with mean names, for they need life spoken over them. Don't let your heart grow cold, for it must remain in love." Johnny replied with might and courage, "Okay, Grandma." A foundation was laid that summer day, and that knowledge led Johnny the rest of his days. All right, so the story is done. This is from my book. And then now what's going to happen is this. I'll just tell you the next sentence. Wow, look at all that hair. Woo! It's all right. We're about to embark on an abstract way of learning about worship. Sometimes when we are told what not to do, we are indeed told what to do. And so now what I'm going to do is this chapter, I won't read this right now unless like you guys want me to, but it's so deep. It really needs to be read like in a book, like nice and slow. And so I'm really excited for this chapter. It's going to be on worship. And I pulled all these Bible verses that talked on what worship was not. Therefore, you learn what worship is. And I'm super excited. So I thought I would share it with you guys. That story though, that story can be for just anyone. Like that story can be for those who have gotten bullied, for those who people are just not nice to. And what Grandma Betsy said is true. Like we just love in return, right? We just love. It doesn't mean what they're doing is okay, but we want to respond with love. Yes and amen. All right. Bye, guys.